was born in 42 and I'm now 82. I grew up in Zurich, Switzerland. I was working in the company which I had with my husband, and I was designing backpacks, travel bags, everything connected with traveling, even fashionable handbags. I was traveling to the Far East many times per year. Then I was traveling to fashion shows inside Europe. I was traveling to America as well. And there came a time I was asking myself, do I want to do this for the next till I'm 65 years old? And I decided maybe one day I would like to do something else, but I had no idea what I could do and what and when. So when I was 55, I really had the feeling I want to do something else, and that's when it happened. The thing happened not from one day to another. I had met a man, and his name is Ara, and he has one day told me, why don't you go to Tarifa? There are orcas and dolphins there. And I must say, I was then already diving a lot and had never heard that in southern Spain there were orcas. I came here with my friends who lived here, and we rented a boat. There was no whale watching here. Tarifa was really a sleeping fishing village, and we were able to go out into the Strait of Gibraltar. When we went out into the strait, we were crossing many ships. At that time, there were 200 big ships that were passing by every day, freighters and even fast ferries. That was for me actually shocking, that here should be dolphins living or animals living here between these big ships. And the first thing that we saw were pilot whales, and they came immediately to the boat and were around the boat. So finally I had the proof that marine mammals were living here. So I was really pleased to find what I tried to look for. They were not orcas, but they were pilot whales. And the next, there were a lot of dolphins coming, and that was also really sweet. They were along the boat and parallel to the boat, and on the way back we had bottlenose dolphins, and from very far away one was jumping up like this and doing this, and in the next moment 2 others came and formed with their lips a heart, and that was really when I was caught. Very soon afterwards, I heard that in Monaco there was an event for marine biologists, and I tried to go there just to get a bit more to know about the marine biologists, about whales and dolphins in general. And there, by accident, I met 2 students from the University of Basel. And when I told them that what I had seen here in the Strait of Gibraltar, they hardly could believe it, because also they had not heard that there were marine mammals living here in the strait with all this traffic we have here. And when they told the Professor Davidsen at the time, he immediately said, I will help. So that was then, of course, when I decided we will found a foundation for information and research on marine mammals, FIRM. So I started to come to Tarifa. I rented a bar, an old stinky bar, and we had then to repair it, and we made a nice office. Then I bought a little dinghy, and that was a boat that was, of course, afterwards we discovered that it was not the right boat for the strait with all the high waves and the wind we have here. So after 1 year, we sold this boat and we bought a real boat which took 12 people on the boat. That was how it became slowly known. We decided that we wanted, before people go on the boat, we wanted to give them an introduction talk, and we do this in 4 languages before every trip. We don't want people just to jump on the boats and for a fun trip, but really that they are being prepared for this trip. And this we do now since 27 years, and in 4 languages. Before every boat trip, people are being informed of what they can see, of what they should not do. Of course, later on came the thing about the plastic. Please don't throw too many plastics away. At the beginning it was even cigarettes. Please don't just throw your cigarette into the water. So from time to time it was changing, of course, what we were saying, but in general it's a big and very nice information talk. Well, I'm always looking forward. What are we going to see today? Because we never know. And also we have a lot of experience how to find them, but we never know who we are going to find, which animals, which species, and there is always a surprise there waiting for us. Basically every day is a new surprise. They are moving differently, the currents are different, the tides are different, so there is never a repetition, never. On the boat, it's important that we do a respectful whale watching and that people understand. The thing is that later on, when other boats started to do whale watching, they didn't do it respectfully. And we found out that actually in Europe, there were regulations of how the whale watching has to be done, were existing, but not in Spain. So that was something I really wanted to bring to Spain, and we found a group in Tenerife who had the same problems with people who were harassing the animals, and together with this group from Tenerife we brought the respectful whale watching regulations to the government in Madrid, and from there it took 5 years to come back to us whale watchers how we should really follow all these rules. And we are doing this. We are not harassing the animals. We are not going straight into them. We try to go parallel. And I must say, they very often come to the boat because the youngsters are very curious. The young dolphins or young pilot whales, they're curious and then come and watch and inspect our boat, which then of course is really a pleasure for us. We even went to schools. I had volunteers, 2 students from the University of Cadiz, and already in the first winter they went to schools from Algeciras to Cadiz, to every school in January and February, and informed the children of what we have here. We have also presented academic works on the board of International Whaling Commission, and it has been done with Jörn, with our biologists, and with veterinarians and the University of Basel. It was honored there, and I'm very happy. After 20 years of continuous data collection for the research, the University of Basel awarded me an honorary doctorate. I hadn't even known that you could get a doctorate as a non-academic, and I was naturally very surprised. Since about 3 years, we hear it also on the boat when orcas are actually having interactions with sailing boats. And of course they damage sailing boats. They don't want to do harm, kind of a play, but of course for the sailors that's not funny. And we hear there are more than 600 happenings of this during the last 3 years. The pod that are interacting orcas, it's not the pod that we know since 25 years, it's a different pod. 1 or 2 boats try to shoot at the orcas, but it's totally forbidden and they have been punished. And we know, of course, when is it happening, because this we hear on the boat, and our biologist is also in an app where he always gets messages, so we know a bit where these orcas are. The Strait of Gibraltar is full of nutrition because we have special currents here. In the Mediterranean, the water evaporation is higher than in the Atlantic Ocean. So the sea level in the Mediterranean is lower. This means there is constantly a flow from the Atlantic Ocean into the Mediterranean. And this flow then comes back on the ground and brings up a lot of plankton, a lot of food. And this makes this strait so important. And that's what makes it, of course, interesting for all the marine mammals. Actually, there are no other women around in this business or on boats. There are occasionally the volunteers, of course. There are women, more women than men, who come and volunteer and are going and accompanying like guides on the boat. But leading a whale watching company, I must say I don't know another woman. I really don't know. It's a man's world on the sea. So, I mean, I've had very hard times at the beginning. They were really doing everything against me. And I had really 4 or 5 years which were very hard, because the macho Spanish people, all the machos here, they didn't like me, not a Swiss woman, where they have no sea, where they have no whales. And she comes here to tell the people where we can find animals. That was a bit hard for the Spanish. I must say, in the meantime, most of the people really have accepted me and have nothing against me being on the boat. Of course, I wish that my grandchildren, that they will still have a world and an ocean where they have all healthy animals like we see today, and that people are respecting everything that is from the ocean, and that they are not overfishing, that they are not putting too much waste and plastic things into the oceans, which is really horrible when they start to eat plastic. And we have had really painful example. It was a big turtle and it has 12 kilos of plastic inside her stomach, and she couldn't dive anymore. And just a couple of weeks ago they were releasing it after, of course, nourishing it, and she was doing well. And we were able to meet this boat and be with them when they were releasing this turtle. And it was really great how this turtle, as soon as she felt water around her body, she just dove and went away. I'm always very happy when I see the families with the children, and really even small children, when they come on the boat, and especially when they see a sperm whale diving off, when they start to scream because they're so happy to see a whale going and diving down. So it makes me really happy to see so many families with children. And of course I hope that these children, and I even know that more than one, which we have had in our courses, we have been giving courses for the last 20 years, and weekly courses, and there were even children who became biologists in the meantime, and this is of course very great. And for me it is clear that I'm not staying now just because I'm older in Switzerland and start knitting, but I really want to be on the boat. I want to be with animals, and this also gives me like a daily gymnastic. I have to be balancing, and this is really also good for my health, and this is why I'm doing it, and I will do it as long as I can do it. I mean, I know one day there will be, I don't know, pains here or there, but as long as I don't have this, I will go on the boat.